Hey everybody, I'm just going to give you a little update on one of the projects I'm doing for market. This is going to be the biggest project in the booth. It is also a commission for somebody in Australia, and it's a giant watcher quilt. And it'll be made with all the new fabrics from When Sparks Fly, and I'm probably going to mix in some of the old True Love prints because I don't have a whole lot of fabric from When Sparks Fly. So here's how I'm going to do this. Still trying to figure out all the steps, but the first thing is that I projected the watcher using a projector onto a wall, and I traced all the pieces directly onto fusible web. So here it is. This is two sections of it. Ignore that baby gate, that's to keep the biz out. So you can see, traced all the pieces onto fusible web. I get this fusible web, it's the Steam-A-Seam Light, I think it is. And when you order the watcher from me, you get it in little sheets, but it also comes in rolls. So this is off of a big roll. I just rolled it down and I traced all the pieces. Okay. So now I have to figure out how to applique it onto the backing fabric. I think rather than trying to applique it onto a giant 100-inch by 102-inch section, I'm going to applique it onto like something that's just big enough to cover the skull, and then I'll take that and I'll applique the whole skull onto the background fabric, I think. The cool thing about this fusible web though is that, you know, I'll cut one piece, mount it on the fabric, and I'll cut the fabric out, and then you peel the other side of that paper off and it's sticky, so I can stick it into place before I iron it down. So that's handy, it's not going to slide anywhere. Still going to be a little crazy because it's pretty huge. It's about 6 feet, the skull itself, and the quilt is for like a king size. So I'll keep you posted on my progress, okay? Yeah. Hey, okay, so here's the plan. I waited for a few days to mentally prepare myself to make the watcher skull, or to start it, because I'm nervous. This is a big one. I have very limited quantities of some fabrics. I can't mess it up. It's a commission. It's for market. First we breathe, okay? All right, so here's my plan. This is what I'm gonna do starting now. Let me just flip the camera around. Okay, so here's a section of the skull that I traced using the projector the other day. All right, and what I'm going to do is start from the center. So this is the same as the pattern, which is much smaller, but I'm going to start with the nose, work my way up and down, and then work my way out. So I have to cut out each piece, take the fusible, fuse it onto one of my fabrics. This is my little key, so this nose is going to be an old True Love print. So I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm going to iron all the pieces onto this white, plain white fabric. I figured it'll be easier to like build this whole skull on one piece of fabric, and then I'm just going to cut out the whole thing, and I'm going to applique that onto a backing, which is actually the silver watcher print from Wildside. I just figure it's better to do it this way. It's more manageable than trying to applique all of this onto the full 102-inch backing fabric. So instead we'll use this fabric and then put the whole thing onto the real backing fabric. Does that make sense? I think so. All right, so I gotta breathe. Oh my God. So so I've started by, I just ironed this white fabric. It's just Kona white, and then I just ironed a little pleat to show me, or a little crease to show me where my center is. So this is where I'm going to start. Put the nose here and then work my way up. Oh my God, here we go. Here we go, everybody. Hi. Okay, can everyone see me? I've cut out my first piece of fabric, rough cut, this slice of fabric, and I've cut out the nose, and I've pulled off one side of the nose. It's this paper, it's like wax paper. You pull that off and you're left with sticky fusible web, and the other side is still the grid paper. So I want to place that on the wrong side of my fabric. And the cool thing about Steam-A-Seam that I like a lot, whoops, is that you can stick it down, and if you don't like where it is, you can pull it up and reposition it. So that's really key. It doesn't fuse to the fabric until you iron it down. Okay, so just sticking it down here, that's how it looks. Now I'm going to take my iron, and on high heat, no steam required, I'm going to just iron it for, I don't know, like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And then what you'll do is you'll peel off this paper here. It'll be sticky on that other side. You stick it down to your backing fabric. If you don't like where it is, you can peel it up, re-stick it. And once you've got it in position, then you iron it, and this fabric will then be fused onto this one, okay? So I just have to do the nose and then like 300 more pieces, or maybe it's not that 300 pieces, it might be like 80 pieces. In any case, I'm going to start doing this now, and I'll show you progress in a few days. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited that we're getting this started, okay? The challenges I see here are that I have to figure out how to, I do want to applique the edges of all the pieces so that they don't fray, because this is going to be a functional quilt. So I might use Invisible thread that I got from Wonderfill when I was in Calgary last week. So I'll probably try that. I might do a test before I start going at it. The other challenge is that I've given myself a deadline to get this plus that cool thing group quilt that we've been working on, the pastel prism looking quilt. I'm giving both of those to my long armor on October 5th. I'm saying it here because that's my deadline. And it's a hard stop, so I'm committing, all right? Okay, fingers crossed. Let's do this.